So listen, thanks to everybody for registering and for joining in. And I promise I won't keep you nowhere near an hour. I just didn't adjust the times on the webinar. So I just wanted to discuss very quickly, because I know that there's not a lot of people, well, not that there's not a lot of people, but that some people wouldn't be aware of the shift that's taking place on Monday. So Monday is the 21st of December, okay, which is always the winter solstice. So you've always got the Newgrange thing. What's the one in the UK where they all, Stonehenge, where they all meet for the winter solstice, all that kind of stuff, okay? So it is the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year, okay, before the days start to get longer again. But this year it's actually a very special day, because we've got an alignment of Jupiter and Saturn, okay? So they align once every 20 years or so. And so that would bring about an energy shift in itself. But, and of course, you've got the beginning of the new season, so that would be an energy shift in itself. But this time we've got Jupiter and Saturn aligning in Aquarius. Now that hasn't happened for 200 years, okay? But this is the closest that the planets will have come to each other in almost 400 years. So the last time we would have seen this, well, we wouldn't have seen this energy, but the last time this energy happened was in 1623, okay? So it's almost 400 years ago. And they're also aligning in 0 degrees in Aquarius, which I'm not even going to go into, but it just gives it a heightened development. So you will have probably seen a lot on Facebook or in newspapers or whatever, you know, about the different things that this is going to bring. It's supposed to move the Earth from the 3D dimension that we're in now to the 5D dimension that people have been talking about for a long time. So if any of you have ever followed, she passed away a few years ago, but there was a lady called Dolores Cannon. She was based in the States, and she's written books and papers about this for many years. Okay, so she was waiting for this shift. Unfortunately, she didn't get to live to see it, but she spoke about this for many, many years. So it is also supposed to be the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. So we've probably all heard the song, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius. So this is actually the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. So there's lots of things we can call it. They're calling it the Great Conjunction. Okay, that's the official name, is the Great Conjunction. And so what, I suppose the first thing is, what can you do to help this? Okay, I'm going to explain in more detail, maybe, you know, what we can expect to get out of this shift. But how you can prepare yourself if you have time over the weekend. Okay, I'm not a big meditator. I say it all the time. I'm not a huge meditator. I meditate when I have to. Okay, but taking 10 minutes out, you know, every day from your life, that's meditating. You know, when I'm telling people to start meditating for spirit connection, I'm always saying maybe 10 minutes twice a week is plenty. But if you can take some time this weekend, okay, what we need to do is this: we can only raise the energy and the vibration to the 5th dimension if we all approach this and we're mindful of it, and we're all positive, and we all envisage a future for ourselves. So you need to reconnect with yourself, okay? So take some time over the weekend, whether you have a nice long hot bath, whether you go for a nice walk in nature, whether you listen to music, write poetry. I don't care what you do, but I want you to start. Well, I'd love you to. I can't ask it of you. But if you want to take part in this on Monday, you need to reconnect with yourself. You need to have a vision of 2 things where you want your life to be. What are the things that you're envisaging for your life? Okay. And don't necessarily think that you have to be positive. What you have to do is have an outlook. So I don't want you to pretend to be positive and that we're all going to be rich and we're all going to be famous and we're all going to have, you know, like the song Rockstar, you know, we're going to have 10 houses and planes and everything. It's not necessarily that. It's more about being more centered, about being more true to yourself. It's more about being, I suppose, having a vision of everybody working together, okay? Because this is the one major thing that this shift should bring about, that we're not going to be so dependent on governments or big business or anything like that anymore. We're going to come back to a more communal style living. Now, don't get me wrong, folks, you're not going to wake up on Tuesday morning next week and the world is going to be different. There's varying viewpoints on this. Some people say it will take a year. Some people will say it will take 10 years, okay? But Monday is the start of it. And it's a real getting back to basics, coming back to communal living, depending on each other instead of the every man for himself life that we've had for the last while. And, you know, if you read up on some of this, I'm not saying that man hasn't been depleting the resources that are on the earth either, but the negative energy that the earth has been spiraling into over the last 150 years or so, I mean, that's had a huge impact on the earth. And the problem is that we have a lot of light workers here now, and I don't even put myself in that bracket. There are actually a lot of people that were sent here to raise the vibration of the earth, okay? And everybody is much more spiritually aware now. They're much more aware of how energy works. And I did a workshop a few weeks ago on energy and how you can use it to your advantage and what you can gain from using your energy properly. Okay, and everybody is much more aware of this now. And, you know, by using your energy properly, we can dictate the way the world is going to go. But we have to approach Monday by being centered in ourselves, by being aware of what it is that we want from our lives, and secondly, what it is that we want for the world. So take some time to reconnect with yourself and envisage. I'm not saying envisage the perfect world, okay? We're not moving to the Garden of Eden, but we can definitely raise a vibration whereby we can bring this change around, okay? So it's about raising the vibration. Now, as I say, there's lots of different speculations. I'm not going to go into them all because we'd be here until, you know, probably 2 years discussing them all the effects of what, of things that can happen. I have a tendency just personally to look at things from the point of view of Indigenous people, you know, the likes of people who built, say, Newgrange, Stonehenge, all those kind of things. They had a great belief in the energy. They used the sunlight, they used the planet, they used planets, they used the stars, they used all those alignments, and they cottoned onto them very, very quickly. So I have been researching over the last while, actually Aboriginal beliefs. Now I wrote it down because I didn't want to get the names wrong, because I'm, you know, anybody that follows me, you know, I'm brutal with names, okay? So I have lots of stuff written down here just in case I forgot any of it. But basically, okay, what you're looking for on Monday, there's a place in Australia. If any of you have ever been to Australia, there's a place, and I think I'm pronouncing it right, Uluru is called, okay? So it's a sandstone rock formation in the southern part of the Northern Territory. There's my Tipperary accent, the Northern Territory in Australia. And this would have been, I don't know, would you call it a holy ground or a sacred ground of the Aboriginal people? And this was built like a Stonehenge or like a Newgrange to take light on these particular days and to also take the energy from the sun, from the moon, from the planets. And this is going to be the center point for this awakening on Monday, okay? So there's a huge meeting of people there. We can't fly to Australia and take part. Okay, well, I can't. And probably with COVID, we can't anyway. So they are meeting on Monday at 9:02 p.m. Central Australian time. So I've worked that out. So it's going to be 11:32 a.m. in Dublin time. And for those of you, I know I can look at the names and I can see that there's a few of you on here from the States as well. So that would be 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard or New York time. Okay. So 9:02 p.m. Central Australian time, 11:32 a.m. Dublin time, and 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the States. Okay, so if you can, if you're available at that time, this is your time to. I don't like asking people to meditate because I know that it's quite difficult. It takes me a long time to get into a frame of mind, but I definitely will be meditating a lot over the weekend. I will be meditating for an hour from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock on Monday. Okay, I definitely will be doing that. And as I say, the point is, I will have over the weekend, hopefully, I have kind of an idea of it anyway, because I've been preparing about this for a while. So it started back on the 14th of December. And you may or may not have been aware that there was an eclipse. It wasn't very visible from Ireland, unfortunately, but there was an eclipse on the 14th of December. And this was the beginning of the alignment. So the alignment will hit at those times, 11:32 a.m. Irish time on Monday. Okay, so this is officially what they've been singing about for years, the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, and this is our chance to move the Earth from the 3D to the 5D energy. Now, over the years, people have interpreted it different ways. Okay, so we've had people say that we're going to be moving. I remember when I was younger reading about this shift, and people were saying that we were going to move to a new planet, which made it all sound really, really scary. But they're talking about a new world. Okay, so we're not going to wake up on Tuesday and the world is going to look any different. Okay, but we will hopefully start to feel a little bit more different. We'll start to feel a little bit more positive. And over the weeks and the months ahead, this polarization of people that we've been feeling a lot over the last few years, this should start to dissipate a little bit. Okay, and I'm ever hopeful that the timing of this will be within 1 year, but I'm also open to the option that it might take the 10 years to feel the full extent of this change. Okay, are you still with me, guys? Am I making sense? Because I know I'm chat, and I'm talking a lot about it. Has anybody read any of this before? Have you ever read like Dolores Cannon or any of these people who have talked about it? Or even, a lot of people maybe would look up, the significance of Newgrange, Stonehenge, all these places. Are you all asleep? Yeah, I see some people there. Yeah, there's a lot of you, that weren't necessarily aware of it, that really didn't. I see there's a couple of questions. I'm going to take questions at the end, if that's okay. Or if you want to type them into the chat box there, I will go through them at the end, okay? So this is the way it's going to work. And this is why it's really important that you raise your own vibration over this weekend. Energy of the world is going to split. Okay, it will split. There's no two ways about it, because some people have a very low energy and they will stay in the 3D. So if you want to move yourself onto the new energy, the higher energy. So if you imagine it like this, okay, we're all on this lower energy now. So currently, if you see a scale of say 1 to 1,000, the energy of the earth at the moment and us as inhabitants is level 8 of 1,000. Okay. After Monday, there's going to be two different energies. So we're going to have the 3D energy that would still be at level 8. And we're going to have a 5D energy, which is going to be up in the hundreds. Okay. So you've got to choose which one that you're going to be on. Okay. And the only way to do this is to raise your vibration. Okay. It's to, get yourself in that positive mindset and look forward. It's all about looking forward. It's about recharging ourselves. It's about realigning ourselves. It's also about realigning the earth, okay? Because, the energy of the earth has been pulled in so many different directions over the last 2 to 3 centuries. There's been so many changes in the world. I mean, if you think back at the evolution of the world, for a long, long time, it didn't, the evolution didn't move that quickly. You can talk about maybe from the 13th century up to the 18th century, there wasn't huge progress. And then all of a sudden, over the period of 150 to 200 years, everything changed. We became electrical, we became steam powered, we became online, digital, and everything has changed. The way we behave as humans have changed, and our energies and our DNA has changed. Okay, we need to go back to basics a little bit. So it's the recalibration of everything. Okay, so after Monday, your energy is going to be drawn to whichever energy suits where you are at this time. Okay, so if on Monday you find that you've been out maybe Sunday night having a few drinks, you're really hungover, you're kind of down in the dumps, you're going to be drawn to the lower energy. If, on the other hand, you feel really refreshed, you feel like you're having a great day, one of those days where you feel empowered, like you're king of the world, like on Titanic, then you're going to be drawn to the higher energy. So it's so important. Spend time with your family, get them out in the fresh air. If you have smallies, just bring them out in the fresh air. I don't care how wet or cold that they get. Bring them for a walk down a country lane. Let them breathe in the air, okay? And, get them pumping as well, and get them excited about life, because we all need to bring this vibration up. And the only way that we can all move across to it is to get as many people involved in this on Monday as possible. Okay, we can't be passive about this, because it is going to split a lot of people. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people left behind in this. There's a lot of angry people in the world, a lot of, look, we know the way the world is. Okay, we see it every day on the news. We see conspiracy theories, we see arguments. I see a lot of on social media. I've even been considering coming off social media. It's just so difficult to just scroll through and see the positive. So maybe I'm going to try and come off social media for the weekend to get myself, into that mindset, that there's much more positivity. And, how do I meditate properly? Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's a really good question, because meditation is different for everybody. So I want to make sure here, because I know I'm rabbiting on, and I want to make sure that I've said everything, okay, that I wanted to say. I'm an awful talker. So I've said about the eclipse. So I've written down, and I mentioned it about the eclipse on the 14th, that the eclipse on the 14th of December, it opened a new portal. Okay, it opened an energy portal. So that's open at the moment. And the conjunction that's happening at 11:32 a.m. Irish time on Monday, this is going to increase the energy of that. Okay, and that's why I'm asking you all to be mindful of this change that's taken part. Okay, the high frequency energy is going to come in, and this portal is what is allowing this higher frequency to reach the earth. Okay, and this is what you need to pick up on. Okay, so let's see. Reach out. Okay, so I've said all of this. I just write things out, and I write more than I need to know. Okay, so I've written down things like that: the infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and unlimited possibilities. I was feeling very descriptive when I wrote this down. Okay, and the shift will bring us directly into the age of Aquarius. So I've said all this already. So I said we were talking as well about communal life. Okay. So rather looking to governments or big businesses for support, we'll turn to each other, and we'll look to strive collectively. So this is more about a basic life, okay? It's relying on each other rather than relying on, like big tech, big pharma, big governments, all these kind of things. Because, historically, people grew and lived in pods, didn't they? They had their little villages, their little clans, they relied on each other. But now we find that we're relying on bigger corporations, and these corporations are plotting against each other. And that's nowhere that I want to be. It's nowhere that I want my kids to be. I want them to come back to this more basic energy. Okay. And this is our one opportunity. Okay. So keep our vibrations high. So the last thing that I wrote down here, okay, is just some thoughts for you to keep in your mind. Monday must be a day of peaceful, positive thoughts. Okay, not just for you, but everyone around you and the planet as a whole. And this is why I wanted to maybe explain to a few people. If everybody that's listening here tonight explains this to maybe 3, 4, 5 people, who pass it on to another, 4 or 5 people, we can create a vibration that's going to actually change the world. And I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist, guys. I don't talk a lot about the planets. I don't talk a lot about horoscopes. I'm probably the most logical spiritualist that you'll ever meet. Okay. I question everything, but this is something that I've been looking into for years. Okay. So enough souls are going to need to unite their energy. Okay, so we're going to try. There's people I don't get on with, there's people that I don't like, there's family members that I don't talk to, but I'm going to try and put all of that aside, okay, for this occasion, and try and, you know, unite with the energy of everybody else with the view of raising the vibration of the earth. Okay, so what we're actually doing, if you envisage it this way, we're healing the planet from within. So we're all here on the surface. If we can raise this vibration, we're actually going to send our energy to the center of the earth. And we'll talk about that. Irene asked a very good question about meditating, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. And we're going to imagine that we're taking root and our roots are going down to the center of the planet. So we're almost healing it from the inside out. And can you imagine how many people are going to need to be tuned into this in order to make for this to happen? There will be thousands and thousands and thousands of people at this point in Australia. Okay, I think there's a lot of people intending to ignore the COVID restrictions for this and go to this sacred place in Australia. So they're asking that people will do this. Now, as I say, there's other Indigenous groups. I have just read about the Aboriginals over the last couple of years and read, you know, the significance of all these things. And if I can remember rightly, the expectation is that under this this sandstone formation that was built, their idea is that there's something buried under here, some kind of a box of energy which they're trying to open. Okay, so some kind of sacred energy, but between the energy that's been filtered through the portal and the energy in this box, it's supposed to move us to a new vibration. And I do believe in a lot of this because you know, as I said, people that built these things like the sandstone formation, Stonehenge, Newgrange, all those, they were so spiritual. They were built in alignment with the planets. Okay, so I've no doubt that there is something buried under there. Okay, it's been passed down through generations and generations of Aboriginal people. And Monday is the date, guys. Okay, the next opportunity we will have, it won't be on the same level, but the next opportunity that we will have with Jupiter and Saturn coming into such close alignment will be in 60 years' time. So it'll be 2080, but it won't be in Aquarius and it won't be at 0 degrees. So this is our one opportunity. And they're saying it could be 600 years before we get another opportunity as good as the opportunity that we have on Monday. So it's a once in a lifetime thing, guys. The last opportunity was almost 400 years ago. The next opportunity is going to be about 600 years from now. I know that I'm not going to be here to see it. Okay. I hope some of you will. So that's, I hope that gives you an idea of what we're talking about. I know there's a lot in it. Okay. So let's start with the meditation. So Irene, I always say meditation doesn't have to be sitting in the lotus position chanting for hours on end. Okay. Meditation can be different for different people. So for you, it might be, as I say, it might be having a bath, lots of nice candles around you, maybe some light music in the background. For others, it might be jogging. For others, it might be walking the dog. You know, I do sit down sometimes with just specific music in the background. The main thing is, okay, whatever you're doing, you've got to disconnect your thoughts. So that's why it tends to be something that's repetitive. Okay, so not music with words that you're going to end up singing along to. Okay, but something that's monotonous or repetitive, because what you're doing is you're closing your mind off to the world almost. Okay, you're not thinking about taking tomorrow's dinner out of the freezer. You're not thinking of the school uniforms that need to be washed. You're not thinking of washing the kitchen floor and what ironing has to be done today. So all those things are being put to the side. Okay, and you're literally thinking of yourself. So I can only tell you the way that I do it, okay? And I do a couple of different meditations. I meditate differently for psychic readings. I meditate differently for spirit connection. But when you want to ground yourself, okay, everything about meditation comes from the breathing, okay? If anybody has done yoga in the past, you'll have heard of yogic breaths. Okay, so a yogic breath is where you actually use all your lungs, because as humans, we use about a third to a half of our lungs on a daily basis, and that's all. So when you feel like your lungs are full enough, and you can practice this watching telly, when you feel like your lungs are full enough, breathe a little bit more. Okay, and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, unless you have a cold or a health condition that prevents you from doing this. So the way I would do it is, and then hold your breath for a minute. Okay, and then let it all out. So I've exaggerated that a little bit to show you what I'm doing. So it's in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so, and you don't have to keep doing that for 10, 15, 20 minutes. You take 3 or 4 of those kind of deep breaths to relax yourself. After 3 or 4 of those breaths, you should feel your heart rate slow a little. Not slow to the point where you need to go to hospital, but slow a little. Okay, you're not nervous, you're not anxious, you're not worried about anything. Okay, you're just getting yourself, your body into a relaxed position. And you literally imagine, if it helps. So for people who are starting to meditate, I find when I'm teaching people in a circle or whatever, it helps to start from your head to your toes. Okay, so sit with your feet flat on the floor. I'm actually sitting in front of a desk at the moment. Now, when you meditate with your palms up, it means you're taking in energy. So that's generally something that you do when you're meditating to connect with spirit or something. When you're just meditating to relax, make sure your palms are down. You're not looking to take in spirit energy. You're not looking to take in the energy from the earth or from the people around you. You're looking to enhance your own. So for the purpose of this, you would meditate with your palms facing down. Okay. So always remember, palms facing up, you're taking energy into your body. Palms facing down, you're working on your own energy. Okay, so feet flat on the floor, palms facing down, and take a few deep breaths. Okay, once you feel comfortable enough, you bring your breath back to normal, whether you normally breathe through your nose or your mouth, whatever that might be, and then start from your head to your toes. So I say to myself, if I'm finding it hard to meditate, nowadays I find I can just go straight into a deep meditation. But when I started, it was just like, okay, I'm acknowledging my head, I'm relaxing my mind, I'm relaxing my eyes, my nose, my ears, my lips, my chin, my neck. And I make myself aware of every part of my body as I go down. And if you have to say it out loud, that's fine. I'm relaxing my shoulders, my left arm, left wrist, left hand, left fingers, left thumb, and physically try, as you say the name of something, um, try and relax it. Be aware of the muscle in your left arm and try and relax it in your shoulder. And then go to your right side, your chest, your lungs, your diaphragm, your stomach, your pelvis, your hips. So just work your way down your body. And when you get to your feet, okay, relax your feet, relax your toes, and then imagine that you have, it's just imagining, and I know it might not sound like the best thing to do, but you're imagining a root that's growing out of the soles of your feet down into the earth. And it's working its way down through the earth, down, down, until you reach the center of the earth. And you're anchoring yourself to the center of the earth. And this is how you're grounding yourself. But it's also going to be how you're going to transmit your positive energy on Monday. Okay. So just imagine that root going down. And then when you have that done, try and hold that energy for just 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. And all the things that you've thought of over the weekend. Okay. So your positivity might be, your positive thoughts or your thoughts for the future might be that you wanted to go back to college. Okay. It might be that you wanted to get your health, sorted out. It might be that you wanted to bridge some distance that is between you and some family members. Okay, it might be that you've wanted to work more in the community to help people in the community. So whatever it is that you're trying to do to better yourself and to better the community around you, start putting these thoughts through your mind. Okay, start thinking about more about communities, more about working with people, more about you know more about self-sufficiency than dependence. Okay, and this is how we're going to raise the vibration. So it's always positive. So I'm just throwing out examples out there, Irene. It doesn't mean you have to think of these things. It's whatever you have envisaged for yourself. But it's not about nice cars. It's not about nice clothes. It can be about your health. It can be about your interactions with people. But we're not going to get rich from this. Well, not physically or externally rich, but we are going to get rich with our energy. Okay, so does that help you with the vibration at all, Irene? And I see there's a couple of people here who have their hands raised. Please just feel free to put your question into the chat box and I will go ahead and read them. There's no problem. So does this make sense? Yes, Irene, you're more than welcome. Ask any questions you want, please. Katrina, do you have a question? I see that there's a lot of people. John, you were one person that said, if you're still here with us, you were one person that said there that you hadn't heard anything at all about this. So does the way I've described it, does it make any sense to you? Do you have any questions? Now, I will say to you that I'm not an expert, okay? I read a lot of topics, but it doesn't mean that I'm expert on them. The main point, whether you're talking about the 5D energy, whether you're talking about the Age of Aquarius, whether you're just talking about a more community-based living, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you're taking one energy, you're taking one positive vibe, and you're going to work with it, okay? And it's going to be positive for you and positive for those closest to you. And then lastly, positive for the world in general, okay? And again, makes sense. Yeah, no, it definitely is cool. And I think we've needed this, guys. You have to be with me when we say, or when I say, that the energy of the world has been dipping down lower and lower and lower over the last few years. And people are pushing each other away. And it's not where we want to be. Okay. So I hope that it makes some sense to you. So before I let you go and go to bed, okay, will you just make a note of the time? It's 11:32 a.m. Irish time, 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the States, and it's 9:02 p.m. Central Australian Time, okay? Okay, and I'm just looking back again, and I don't know, did I say this, but it's all about love, joy, and compassion. And if you can, center your energy on those three positive emotions, love, joy, and compassion, all day Monday, we can hope that we can smash this thing. Okay. Because, in Ireland, there's enough of it. We've had enough of people fighting each other for different viewpoints over the last couple of years. And, we all look to America for all of these things. And there's an awful lot of, I suppose, different viewpoints, people trying to be heard over other people. These are things we need to do together, guys. So we need to stop relying on these big state people to do these things for us. We can do these things together as a community. We can look after each other. And this is where we're hoping to be. So everybody now go to YouTube and we're going to all listen to the Age of Aquarius song and we're all going to hopefully be much more positive. I know for me, I'm working very early in the morning. I've got a meeting to Australia really early in the morning and I'm working up until mid-afternoon. And then if it's still bright, I'm hoping to get my kids out, away from PlayStations, away from all the little gadgets and indoor things that they do, and just get them out, even to walk across the field, to get some of that fresh air in. And hopefully it's not going to be wet, but the rain won't melt them either, will it? And my husband said he's going to bring the kids up. Whether I'll go or not now, I don't know. But early on Sunday morning, they're going climbing the Devil's Bit, which is a local kind of hill here in outside of Templemore here in Tipperary, where a lot of people would climb that. So they generally go and they take the dog with them early on a Sunday morning when I'm getting my lie on. So they're going to do that as well on Sunday morning. So whatever you do to raise your vibration, I will be around. I'm going to try and stay off social media, but I will kind of be checking in and out of messages if you have any further questions. So does anybody want to ask anything before I let you all go and get yourselves ready for bed? Have I explained it okay? Oh, no problem at all, John. You're more than welcome. Thanks for joining in. I know it's really late, but I also see that I have a lot of people that are here as well from the States. So I was trying to make the time accessible to everybody. But I'm probably just going to make a video out of this and maybe put it up on my YouTube or on my Facebook or something so people can watch it back. You will get an email with the link to watch it back again so you can go through it over the weekend and hopefully take any pointers from it that you need. And I hope I explained it well. Okay, guys, let's look forward to this. Thank you, Maura. Thank you so much for saying that. And thanks for joining in. Okay, I really do appreciate it. I hate being here talking to myself sometimes, but I am planning, I do have readings Monday, but I am planning on maybe coming on for maybe even a half an hour from 11:15 to 11:45 on Monday. So if you're working from home or if you're off or whatever, maybe we can do a meditation together. Okay, and I'll put on some music and talk you through it. Okay, I might have to do that in the private group. So because I'm not allowed to play music on my page, or the posts get taken down because I don't own the rights to the music. So no problem, Katrina. Thanks a million for coming on. Okay, everybody, good night. And if I don't talk to you over the weekend, I'll definitely be on at about 11:15, 11:20 on Monday for this energy shift. And I'm kind of excited about it. I'm really looking forward to the positive change in all our lives. Okay, guys, thanks a million. We'll talk soon. Bye.